welcome to Good Games Spawn Point, the show for gamers by gamers. I'm Batman Santa Bajo.
And I'm Hex, the red-nosed reindeer.
And I am Darren, the frosty snowman.
And it's our last episode of 2015, and that means we're in a Christmassy mood.
God, what a year it's been, Bajo, but it's Christmas. Why are you dressed as Batman?
Well, Hex, there's a lot of similarities between Batman and Santa. They both creep around at night, and they both know who's been naughty, and they're all about justice.
That's actually quite lovely, Bajo.
Well, fair enough. Coming up in the show, we're going to review the latest Adventure Time adventure.
You stink!
Plus, I will analyse the 3 biggest Toys to Life games to determine if they're worth getting this Christmas.
Sounds good, Darren. Now, how about some Christmas trivia?
Affirmative. Rig up your brain tinsel, spawnlings, because it's time for Darren's Challenge! Today, I'm asking you this. In Santa Claus Saves the Earth on the Game Boy Advance, what is the name of the wicked fairy who has trapped Santa in her magic? Answer at the end of the show.
Darren, that game is about 14 years old. Who's going to know that?
Well, it's the only recent Christmas-themed game in my databanks.
All right, well, shall we get on with the show?
Yes, well, one thing I think we all struggle with at Christmas is deciding which games to pick. And judging from the letters you've been sending us, there's a lot of interest in Toys to Life games.
Affirmative. To help the spawnlings out, Goose and I have scrutinised all 3 of this year's Toys to Life games. Disney Infinity 3.0, Skylanders Superchargers, and LEGO Dimensions. We will find out exactly what you get with each and break down the costs involved. Welcome to Darren's Checkout! Goose, please bring in the Darren's Checkout Big Book of Statistics.
Hi guys, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, Goose.
Oh, you look great.
Thank you, I'm a hipster elf. Now, we have all of our analysis here in this big book.
Excellent. Okay, well, I think a good place to start would be to give the spawnlings an overview of what's included in each of the game's basic bundles.
Affirmative. The Skylanders Superchargers bundle is priced at $100 and provides 2 characters and 1 ground vehicle. This will give you access to the majority of the game's 5-hour campaign mode, although the water and flying vehicle sections will be locked.
We should also point out that the Skylanders game has a range of multiplayer modes and a racing championships that extends its gameplay.
Interesting. So how does Disney Infinity 3.0 compare?
Its main bundle is also priced at $100 and comes with 2 Star Wars figures and access to approximately 5 hours worth of campaign gameplay based around the Clone Wars cartoon.
And importantly, you also get to access the Toy Box mode, which lets you play for as long as you want, building your own worlds and games, as well as downloading other players' creations.
Yeah, that game building mode is a big plus. But what about LEGO Dimensions? Because that's a fair bit more expensive, isn't it?
Affirmative. It is indeed the most expensive bundle of the 3 at $170. It comes with 3 LEGO figures and 1 vehicle. However, the good news is that this campaign is the most entertaining of the 3 games and also the longest at about 12 hours.
As well as the main LEGO campaign, you'll also gain access to 3 mini hub worlds based around its heroes, like Gandalf's Lord of the Rings area.
Interesting analysis, guys, but we should also judge these toys for how much fun they are when the games are turned off.
That's not really scientific, Bajo.
I'm sorry, Darren, I can't hear you. I'm too busy playing with these new Skylanders cars because they are way more fun than the old figurines on the bases.
Sure, but you can really only push them around. The LEGO figures are much cooler and can be pulled apart and rebuilt in so many ways.
I don't think either of you should be pulling them apart. Bajo already lost Marty McFly's base disc. Now we can't use him in the game anymore. I prefer the design of handsome Disney robots like Ultron. So majestic.
Good point, Darren, although I don't think I would have picked Ultron as my favourite, but there are a great range of characters in the Disney lineup. Getting back to the gameplay, I think we should time how far we can get in each game before you reach an area that's locked, unless you buy a new toy.
Good idea, Goose.
Let's start the timer on LEGO Dimensions. Analysing. Good. No locked sections yet. Here we are. At 28 minutes and 44 seconds, we've got the first locked content. A section we can't access without the Wicked Witch character.
Curse that Wicked Witch. Okay, now it's Skylanders' turn. I'll time this one. Okay, yes, excellent. No locked doors yet. It's good to see the old blocked-off elemental zones are no longer used in this game. Here we go. At 32 minutes and 41 seconds, we're prevented from playing this level without a water vehicle.
Nice work, Goose. Okay, let me do Disney Infinity. Yes, good. Okay, after the introduction, it's time to play the Star Wars campaign. What's this?
You have located a champion coin.
At just 18 minutes and 35 seconds, we have a Darth Maul icon. Which would make this the shortest amount of time before you hit locked content.
Negative. That's a false alarm, Bajo. This is just an option to play as Darth Maul. There isn't any of the main campaign that's locked.
Oh, well played, Disney. All right, now I think we should see how much it costs to unlock everything in each game. Spoiler, I bet it's a lot.
Affirmative. Buying all of the Skylanders Superchargers vehicles and characters will run up a hefty bill of $668.
Oh,
Yes, that will give you a collection of 20 characters and 19 vehicles. However, it will only provide you with a measly 2 to 3 hours of additional water and flying missions and races.
ouch. Okay, how about Disney Infinity 3.0?
Its complete set is even more expensive at $794.
Whoa!
However, it does provide better value. As well as the 30 additional figures, you'll gain access to 2 extra Star Wars campaigns based on the new movie and the original trilogy.
Yes, that's right, Darren. And you'll also get the Inside Out campaign, and a new kart racing mode, and Toy Box Takeover, which provides a new campaign that you can play through with any Disney Infinity character.
Oh, this is all stacking up. I almost don't want to know, but how much will the complete Lego collection cost?
To get every toy in LEGO Dimensions, you'll need to pay a staggering $1,303. Affirmative. It is hard to consider how anyone could justify this expense for just one game. However, it does at least offer up a handful of extra gameplay sections.
Yes, but you will gain access to 6 mini story missions based around characters like The Simpsons and Marty from Back to the Future. And you'll be able to explore 11 additional hub zones like Scooby-Doo and Jurassic World.
Well, guys, that's some great research, and I think we all have a better idea of how they all compare now.
Yeah, and I hope that helps you Spawnlings decide. As fun as these Toys to Life games are, it's important to remember they can quickly become very expensive hobbies. So my advice is to carefully pick the one you like most and be very choosy about which extras you buy.
Thank you so much for your help, Goose.
Oh, no worries, Darren.
We'll see you later in the show.
Bye, guys.
Right, Bajo and Hex, it's time for you two to go to the Spawn Point desk. For the last time this year. Oh, 'tis the season to answer questions. Fa la 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 la.
Okay, well, let's kick off our last Ask Spawn Point for the year with this one from Newman Ultra, from this guy in Welcome, Western Australia. It's been a while since I've sent in a message. I think the last time I sent in a question, I might have been 10 or 9 at least. I'm 12 now. Anyway, I've got no new consoles and a really slow internet, but I just want to know. There are so many games in the world, most of which require payment of sorts. I was wondering, are there any free-to-play action games? There probably aren't any popular ones, but I don't mind. I also enjoy playing Sims 4, but I've nothing to do anymore. There are so many games out in the world, if only I knew what to play. Can you also suggest some iOS games? Because, well, why not? Thank you. I don't require a reply. It's not absolutely necessary. I don't mind if you ignore it at all. But if you do, thank you for your time and consideration. Spinach out!
Well, spinach is a much easier name to say. You could have started with that, but we should totally try and get Darren to pronounce that word, Hex. It'll be hilarious.
Oh, yeah.
Hello.
Hello, it's Bajo.
And Hex.
Hi, how's it going? Darren, how do you say this word? Check your email.
You mean pneumono ultra microscopic silico volcano coniosis?
Ah, so that you can pronounce.
Oh, of course. Why wouldn't I be able to pronounce that?
Well, because you can't pronounce anything.
Yeah, well, I'm impressed, Darren. What does it mean?
Oh, well, it's a medical condition caused by inhaling fine particles from volcanic ash. And it's actually the longest word found in the English dictionary.
Oh, neat fact, Darren. But hey, while you're on the line, can you think of any free action games we could recommend to the Spawnling?
Well, of course, there are games like World of Tanks or World of Warships or War Thunder, if you prefer flying, and
Robocraft is good if you like robots, and let's face it, who doesn't like robots?
Well, those are some good suggestions, but they're all online games, and the Spawning apparently hasn't got great internet.
Oh, Well, most of the popular free action games tend to be online. But there's a free version of the original Spelunky, and Cave Story is also a great free 2D action game. Oh, and of course there are a lot of decent, free browser-based games out there that don't require a good internet connection, such as Kingdom Rush.
Oh, seems like some good suggestions there for the Spawning, but they were also wondering what iOS games we'd recommend, and personally I think the iOS game I've spent the most time with was the original Puzzle Quest. The sequel was great too.
Oh, and they just released an Adventure Time version.
Oh, yeah, but the originals are still the best in my opinion.
I think my personal favourite mobile game is Lara Croft Go. Such a well-made puzzle game.
There are a lot of good mobile games out there, aren't there? Some of my favourites include FTL, Monument Valley, and of course, Hearthstone.
Oh, well, there's some good suggestions there, I think. Thanks for your help, Darren.
Oh, anytime. Goodbye.
Bye. Hang on a sec, Hex. He just said Hearthstone. It's Hearthstone. Oh, I think he's just trolling us with these pronunciation errors.
All right, well, let's move on with this one from Mikey, who is in the question capital in Victoria.
Start calling him Darren. Yellow, good game. Christmas is coming up, and my parents said to me that I can get one of the new consoles as a Christmas present, but I'm not sure which one. I love racing games, so the Xbox One would be really good for the Forza Motorsport series and the Horizon series. But I saw your review of Drive Club, and I thought that looked pretty fun hit. That's a PS4 exclusive. So which one should I get? P.S. You guys are awesome. That also includes you, Darren. Well, Mikey, deciding which console to ask for is always tricky, and making the decision based on racing games makes it even trickier. They both have strong, exclusive racing titles.
Yeah, I mean, on the PlayStation side, there's Drive Club, as you mentioned, which has just added in a motorbike expansion. It's a super pretty game and has some of the best weather effects out there. I wasn't the biggest fan of the fact that there was no driving line or rewind feature, though.
The other big racing franchise on PlayStation is, of course, Gran Turismo, and there's a new one due out next year. It's going to be called Gran Turismo Sport, and it looks promising.
But it is worth noting that it's not going to be one of the main numbered games in the series, and will be more of a prologue-style release, which is kind of just another way of saying that it's not going to have that much content.
I think one thing to consider with those games is that they're both track-based races, so you can't drive around an open world if that kind of thing interests you.
Yeah, and on the Xbox side of things, as you mentioned, you have the two Forza series with the main games and the spin-off Horizon games. And the great thing about the latest Horizon was just how open world it was. Hooning through fields of flowers and vineyards, it just never got old.
Definitely, and I'd say the latest Horizon is easily one of my favourite races of all time. And this year's Forza 6 was great too. Those puddles, Hex, they were so epic. So I think in terms of which platform has better exclusive races, I'd say Xbox does for now at least. And they're reliable with their release schedule too, with a new Forza game almost guaranteed to come out every year.
Yeah, and PlayStation has great racing games, but I think the Forza series has just been really strong over the last few years, so it's hard to beat. But at least no matter which console you find under the tree, you'll have plenty of great racing options. But on that note, I think we're actually out of time for the week and the year.
Yeah, and thank you to everyone who wrote in this year with your excellent questions, but also apologies to anyone whose question we didn't have time to answer. You guys send in so many, it's quite hard to keep up.
Yes, but we do love getting them all, and we can't wait to get back next year to answer even more. So keep sending in your questions here.
All right, Hex, I'm gonna grapple back to the studio. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Here I go.
I guess as a reindeer, I can fly. But, what sound does a reindeer make?
Okay, guys, do you know what time it is?
Adventure time!
Adventure time! Come on, grab your friends. We'll go to very distant lands. We'll take the dog and then the human. The fun will never end. It's adventure time.
Adventure Time, Finn and Jake Investigations turns the popular cartoon into a point-and-click adventure. You play as Finn and Jake, who've started up their own detective agency to solve a range of mysteries that are plaguing the land of Ooh. How do you feel about the point-and-click choice, Bajo?
At first, Hex, I was surprised. The show just has so much action in it. But what I liked about this genre is that it gave us a chance to interact with the characters far more than we could in previous games.
Sure is a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I like stuff. Just don't like putting it away.
Ow!
Affirmative. The game's cast are all voiced by the TV show's actors, which makes the conversations feel authentic. It's great bumping into some of my favourite characters like the Ice King.
Yeah, the Ice King always makes me laugh as well.
Really? Wow.
And I like how the characters also poke fun at gaming cliches.
Ew, why did you pick that up? It's an adventure, man. You pretty much have to pick up everything.
As good as the voice acting is, I did find it frustrating that you can't skip any conversations. Often I'd just want to check if a character had something new to say, but then I'd have to sit and listen to the same dialogue all over again. It really needs a skip button.
The gameplay itself is pretty standard point-and-click fare. You fetch items to give to characters, so they'll give you the solution to the next puzzle. Speaking of, how did you both find the puzzles?
A little inconsistent, to be honest. Sometimes it's a super easy case of having an item in your inventory that's obviously the right choice. But then at other points, I'd just try every item I had and nothing would work.
That won't work.
Yeah, that happened to me a fair bit as well. Usually it was because I'd failed to notice some small item in the background I could pick up. Come on, game, drop me some hints.
Actually, Bajo, Jake does provide some hints about certain items.
Yes, but he only gives those hints for items that you're trying to use, which are actually part of a combination item you need to build.
You might be onto something, but that's not quite right.
If you don't have the item at all, suddenly he's no help.
To be fair though, most point-and-click games have a similar form of trial and error. Plus, you can always hold a button down and make all the interactive elements sparkle. And I definitely enjoyed the puzzles that did click, especially with that great voice acting we've mentioned.
Whoa, that worked a lot better than I expected.
One thing that most point-and-clicks don't normally have though is combat sections.
Affirmative. During these sections, Finn and Jake will face waves of enemies. Finn's attacks consist of pretty standard sword swings. However, he can call on Jake to help him out with special attacks, like becoming a muscle suit for him or a makeshift catapult.
Yeah, those Jake abilities certainly made the combat more enjoyable. It might be unconventional, but I'm glad they put those sections in. This isn't a perfect Adventure Time game, but it really captures the spirit of the show, so I'm giving it 3 rubber chickens out of 5.
Yes, the characters and the humour certainly make it easier to overlook those occasional frustrating moments. I'm giving it 3 out of 5 rubber chickens as well.
Guys, we're almost at the end of our final episode of the year. And of course, that means it's time for the answer to Darren's challenge.
Affirmative, Goose. At the start of the show, I asked you this. In Santa Claus Saves the Earth on the Game Boy Advance, what is the name of the wicked fairy who has trapped Santa in her magic? And the answer is... Nilum!
Ah, Nilum. We'll remember that one, Darren. Well, guys, that's it. Another massive year of gaming in the bag.
Yes, and we still have so many games sitting upstairs in the office that we need to play for next year.
Can I just say, you've all been marvellous, week in, week out, all year.
Aw, thanks so much, Darren. You've done a great job yourself.
And a big thank you, of course, to everyone for watching.
Oh, and everyone at the ABC who helps us make the show.
Now, what would a Christmas party be without cake?
Yay, cake!
Oh, I wonder if Kerry has anything he can roll while we're eating it.
Absolutely, Bajo. Roll the tape, Kerry.
Here in my ship, I feel safest of all.
Hop in, hop in. Darren, I have a bad feeling about this.
Oh, let's go exploring. Blast off! Off we go!
Ladies and gentlemen, spawnlings and robots, welcome to the 2015 Spawn Point League.
People are kicks.
And that's the end. Yes, I did it.
A little bit tricky, but it's okay. We're getting there. Just keep going. It's fine. Just keep pushing on. No worries. I'm not getting frustrated, actually. I'm feeling quite fine. I'm feeling quite calm. This is going very well.
I have to say, you're actually quite good at dribbling, Bajo.
What did I say, Hex? No puns allowed.
No, Darren, Bajo is actually dribbling.
Oh.
Oh, look out! Here he goes! Oh, take it back, Bajo. Oh, no! Oh, no! I got stuck! I'm stuck in the trap! Oh, no!
Triple boost.
Noob alarm! Proceed to the noob watch set immediately!
Oh, gross.
clean up all this robosphere.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it's all been taken care of. Goose! The new grey will be completed on schedule.
You have done well, my young apprentice.
Welcome to Spawny Park! It's perfectly safe. Charging my hologram laser!
You can't win, Darren. You strike me down, I become. Ah, Darren! Stings!
Children of the night! Right, what we got?
Doesn't that make you want to head off into the ink thing?
And that's all the news for this week. It's not written there, Lynn, so how am I meant to know to say it?
Thanks, Goose. This is the only dance move I know.
I'm sure it's not the first time you've failed on the dance floor, Bajo. To give you a helping hand.
Your favourite. It is my favourite.
Basically, it's the same phenomenon that makes you in phenomenon.
If you like my bananas, then you're probably better off going anywhere but Monkeyville. But Monkey.
Amazingly, I found myself sympathizing with this lone fungus of the apocalypse. He seems like a fun guy.
Oh, great montage.
Great cake.
Great year.
Well, until next time, may all your games be good ones. Hex out.
Bajo out.
Goose out.
Darren out.
What flavour is this?
Goose. It's Christmas flavour.
Oh, so spongy.